How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to Boylai Hobby Time. The other day I was looking for American Legendary Creatures on Google, and on the American Legendary Creatures page of Wikipedia, I found an animal that looked pretty interesting, and that was called the golden bear. It's essentially a Winnie the Pooh colored grizzly bear that's huge, and the legends come from a place called Turner, Kansas. You can see on Google Maps it's been pretty well developed in this area, so unlikely to live here anymore, but if you're from there, do be careful just in case. I found this little bear at my local hobby store. It was the perfect size for a 1 to 72nd scale golden bear, and in the Wikipedia article it also talks about how the Native Americans in the area wanted to hunt down the golden bear for its remarkable trophy size. So I got out some 1 to 72nd scale Native Americans to make a little hunting party. For the base, I cut a small plank of wood and began figuring out the layout using the figures. And I wanted to remove the bear from the existing base that he was on, so I broke off the old dull cutting edge to get a nice new one. I removed him from the base, so he is a free-range bear for now. To build up some terrain on the base, I peeled the paper off of some foam core, and I cut that into the shape of a little creek bed using my nice sharp knife. I hot glued the foam down to the wood, and then to cover up the imperfections and the blemishes, I covered the whole thing in a foundation from Dior. Just kidding, it's actually not Forever Skin Glow from Dior. It's a plaster, paint, and Mod Podge mix. I embedded some rocks, and then I set that off to the side to dry, and I began making some trees. La Fabrique Good Memories and Eric's Hobby Workshop both have more detailed videos on how to make trees like this. I'll put links to those below. But essentially, you cut up some twine into lots of little pieces, and then you unravel those little pieces multiple times until you have a nice little pile of hair. You take the fibers, you put them between some wire, and you can either twist it by hand or with a drill, and then you trim down the branches till you have a little tree shape. I primed the trees with a black spray paint, and then I gave them a undercoat of a dark green paint, and then I sprayed on a light green from the top to highlight just the tops of the branches. Once the base was dry, to add a little bit more texture, I added some watered down glue. I spread that out with isopropyl alcohol and a little brush. And I sprinkled on a few different sizes of dirt and sand. While the base was drying a second time, I prepped the figures by priming them with a zenithal highlight, and I started the painting with the bear. Unlike Winnie the Pooh, this golden bear does not have a red polo crop top, probably because they don't make it in that size. I covered the whole thing with a yellow contrast paint from Games Workshop, and then dry brushed on some yellow highlights, painted the mouth with some pink, added a few washes, and painted on the details such as the nose and the eyes, and I was pretty happy with how that looked. Then I painted the hunting party. I painted one on camera, the rest I painted the same way, just off camera. Then it was time to finish up the work on the base. I wanted this to look kind of like a dried up creek bed, so I painted on a few different colors of washes, which I dabbed around with a paper towel. I also added some dry pigments. I dry brushed the rocks to help those edges stand out. Then marked out and drilled some holes for the trees. I had forgotten to add some flocking, so I put some toothpicks back in the holes so that I didn't lose those. I added various colors of flocking. Then I removed the toothpicks and I stuck the trees back in. Then added some tall grass and some bushes and other little plants of various kinds to help fill out the base. And I painted the sides with black 3.0. To justify the angry expression on this bear's face, I drilled a little hole and added a spear that had just been thrown by one of the hunters. I don't know if the hunters are going to have a very easy time bringing down this bear. Let me know in the comments who you think is going to win. After I had all of those glued in place, I called it good. Here is an update of the collection so far, of everything outside of the buildings from the Wild West. So I guess the wild of the Wild West. I'm having a lot of fun with this project. I hope you guys are enjoying it. If you have suggestions for other monsters or things you'd like to see me integrate into this world, let me know in the comments. That is the end of this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you all so much for watching. Have a great week. I'll see you next time.